There are stories that connect us to ourselves and to each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. Now, exclusively on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, your hosts, AJ and Natalie.
Your hosts, I'm AJ.
And I'm Natalie.
And we're here to do some soul wanderings tonight. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Always down for some soul wandering. What about you?
Oh, I'm definitely down.
She's down.
Was hanging out today with my little nephew, and he had this car. It had this cool little techno sort of jam.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were in the kitchen jamming, dance party in the kitchen. We'd dance, and then he'd say, when the music, because it'd just play for like maybe 10 seconds, stop. Play it again. Dance. Stop.
Kids are the best, aren't they?
Yeah, I could do that more often. My body is like, we could do this more often. That'd be great. Move your body. Move your body.
Move your body. Body moving is important.
It's so important.
I love that. Kids are so awesome. My little baby grand just turned 1 yesterday.
Happy birthday to the little guy.
I know. It's happening so fast. He's going to teach me so much.
Oh, I think he already has.
Oh, for shizzle.
Oh.
Yeah. Who says for shizzle anymore?
You just did. That's not necessarily the most common thing you say, but hey, popped right out.
It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I guess I'm in that mood. I guess I've been hanging out with my sister too long.
You know, there's a thing that happens around holidays, which is family gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just like, oh, yes, I remember why family isn't always right next door to me.
It's a thing. I'm so grateful for the contrast in our family. It's good.
My family lives so far away, but they are coming in because we had a death in the family. So It's one of those sad things, but then it creates a sort of family reunion.
Mm-hmm.
So I am looking forward to see my family because I don't see them very often.
Yeah.
And so I have no idea where everyone's going to congregate, because when my family gets together, that is a lot of humans. And that isn't even close to like the whole. This is like the adults coming, and it's like, whew, it's a lot of humans in my family. I don't even know how many. I don't count that many. I don't haven't spent the time to count, but
yeah,
we started with 9, and 9 creates a lot more.
Yeah. Big families have bigger fun,
right?
more humans around and
more
about.
Humans.
It'll be good.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really feeling for my mom, and it was her sister that died. And so I know it's just a big difficulty when those kind of connections, your regular, her and her sister were really close. So it's like, oh, mama.
Yeah. So much love to your mama.
So much love to
all of you.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the whole grieving process. I really can. I get that that's part of our human experience. But I get so happy for people when they get to wake up.
I know.
So awesome for them.
Well, it's so different from that perspective. That is okay. So I know she didn't die, and So I have a question. In your near-death experience, did you meet family, or did you just meet your guides?
I didn't meet any family, and I would say they were my guides. They weren't specifically telling me that's who they were, but I assumed. I didn't ask, but yeah. I know family. I didn't meet any family.
Oh, I guess that
would have been cool.
That would have been cool if your family had said, "Hey, by the way, hello. You still have to go back."
No, I've listened to a lot of NDEs, as we know, and I've studied them quite a bit. I feel like my experience was, I've heard other people have similar experiences to mine, but it's not a typical NDE story where people like go through a tunnel or see a light or anything. It wasn't like that. I was here and then I was there. Like the room literally filled up with light, and there were like many with their arms outstretched, like, come on.
To bring you to them? Oh. Wow.
It was different than what I've heard other people experience. But I've also heard someone say, not someone, but a few someones experience something similar to me.
Interesting. It's so fascinating to hear these stories and just go, each thing means something for the person. So then also my understanding of how we're shown in ways that we can understand what it is that we need to be shown to move forward with what we need to be doing. It's so fast. The spirituality and consciousness and all that is so fascinating. Yeah. And then it's like, well, you can only just whatever's in your now and where it's meant to guide you and go from there. But it is really nice. So this has been interesting with my aunt dying. I got to see her before she died and spend a little bit of time with her. And she wasn't very conscious, but I am just, it's so relatively at peace anymore. It's so much different than I was, years ago. I can take it in so much different stride. I can have my moments of emotions about it, but I feel like I'm in acceptance, in a much different place of acceptance with this life and death process. And so it doesn't wreck me like it used to, but I have my feels for sure, but I just feel really at peace. I text my friend because she invited me to a get together on Saturday. And I said, wow, my aunt died. She's like, oh no, do you need anything? And I'm like, well, I'm good. I'm good. Feel for my mom, but no, I think I'm good.
Right.
Feeling at peace. And it feels lovely.
I resonate with that. I'm really comfortable with death.
Yes, because you're like, whoop, they got to wake up from the dream.
Lucky. I mean, it's great being human, right?
Right.
Cheers to that.
Well, it has its moments.
I'm like, can we be done with the shit show already, please?
Well, and then, I have my moments too. Like, whoa, this is a human experience.
Yes. It's the emotions for me.
Well, it's like,
I'm like, can I be done with this? I don't want to feel these things.
maybe it's because I talk so much about emotions. It's like, it's just an experience in the moment. You're having an emotional experience. It doesn't mean anything.
I don't mind feeling my emotions. It's the fact that I have to take time out for them. Like, they're just inconvenient. Like, can we not have the emotions? Like, I have things to do.
Right. Just remember it's a creative energy. So you have things to do while you're being emotional.
I do such a great job at cleaning house when
You're
I'm
emotional.
in a mood. Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
That's so fun.
Like, I'm just gonna clean. Leave me alone. Clean or create. If we're not doing that, don't come near me.
That sounds so accurate about your emotional wave. It's like it's a very creative energy that you experience when you're emotional, which could be used in both of those ways.
True.
Oh, this life.
Emotions.
What else has been going on in your week?
I have yeah.
It was
It's
like
been
that.
like that.
You're like, that's exactly it.
Let's see if I can use my words. I have had a very uneventful week.
Wow.
Yeah. So, having a neurological autoimmune disease, gives you opportunity for timeouts. And I was forced to take one for several days. And although I'm grateful it was over the time period that it was, because not much was going on, I still was angry
That you had to.
that I had to, because
That makes
there were
sense.
other things I wanted to do. Today's my first day out in the world since then. And so, yeah, I haven't done anything. I
Wow.
couldn't even create.
Oh,
I know.
so I would say that you did something significant, which is let your body heal.
That is mighty powerful, Natalie. Thank you for the reminder.
That's it. Anytime you just call me up and I'll just like reorient you.
I do need that, because
You're
I
like, I
have a
didn't do
pity
anything. I'm
party.
like-
Like, I have to say, I do nothing. I'm wasting my life away. It's like that.
I believe you. When you're in that, I'll be like, look, you're not wasting. If you do not
I
give
really
yourself
feel that
this
way.
time, you will be wasting your life away. You're not a generator.
No, I'm not a generator.
It's like, yes, that's important. I've had days. I even have to tell myself that sometimes.
Mhm.
It's like, look, just chilling out for a little bit actually is a beneficial
Mhm.
thing to put on your to-do list. I'm going to
Mhm.
need a little bit of like downtime.
Right. It is so important that we do that. All
Yes.
of us need downtime.
Without guilt.
Without guilt is
Yes.
the ticket.
I know.
That is the ideal
Yes.
space to be.
You're like, you tell yourself to yourself. So a note to self, I need downtime and I'm going to take the time, and I do not want to myself, guilt trip. Noted.
Harold, you're going in a closet.
Right.
No talking.
You're like, we're going to do this. And we're not going to feel bad.
Yeah, I think that's, and I'm sure a lot of that is conditioning.
Yes.
And I'm still unwiring all of that.
Oh, yes.
Which is fun.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another thing to take out to the garbage today.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, something else has come up.
And
yes, again.
And again. Oh, and you're not done healing yet. Let's do this again.
For you, if it doesn't feel like peace, then it's garbage. Rubbish.
It's true. It's true. Natalie knows me all too well.
So I do this.
She knows humans all too well.
I do. I have so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's so enjoyable for me to have such a effective tool to view humans. It's just like, oh, this is just so good.
It's so
like
good for all of us who are near you.
It's like, just give me an opportunity. I had this lovely interaction with a couple today, and I could read. I was reading at least the situation, and I felt like I read it pretty accurately.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get a look at their design, and I'm like, oh, well, that's that person's not self. So we're going to adjust that so that there's more understanding in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really nice to be at this point of my life to have studied long enough where I feel like a voice of authority. But as I told you a little earlier, I did have to remind myself that that I needed that voice of authority. I needed to embody that aspect of myself that could be an authority.
Yeah. I love that you found your reminder.
That's like, hello, they're looking to me to help them. Be confident.
That just surprises me that you even questioned it for a moment, because I look at you and I see ultra confidence.
Oh.
And it's not like behind the curtain confidence. It's like you're confident.
Well,
you stand in your truth, and you know what your greatness is. And I look at that and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Because I don't want the attention. And I don't want everyone to know how good I really am.
How you really are. Right. Well, see, I have an out self too. And my not self is trying to prove myself. And so when I get caught up in my not self, I just remind myself. I did it a couple of times today. I felt the pressure, like I felt like I needed to hurry and get something done for the
Mhm.
pressure that I was feeling because it was time crunch. But
Mhm.
it's so good to have effective coping skills and coping
Mhm.
mechanisms because it does not in any way eliminate problems.
Right.
It only gives ability and navigational tools. That's what I love about coping mechanisms. Ones that are
Mhm.
effective, just remember your coping mechanisms that have proven effective,
Mhm.
and then keep them in your toolbox and pull them out.
Yeah.
That's good for everyone. This is my nuggets. It's like these coping mechanisms that are effective, utilize them.
Mhm.
Because often we'll just get carried away, and not that I'm assuming everybody out there does, but it's a human experience after all. We all have
After
our
all.
little things. I was sitting there. I had to go to the Department of Motor Vehicles today, and see that she's like rolling her eyes. Anytime they give you a number, you know that you're in a lessons of patience. And then you watch the screen, and they have these lovely 2 screens up there that actually, say that one, exactly how long other people have to wait because they didn't make an appointment.
Mhm.
And then you can see the time and the appointment time and realize that, oh, I'm dealing with like a government bureaucracy, and they don't
Right.
really care
No.
about timely
Your
per
time
se.
does not mean anything.
And all those thoughts. And then it's just like, oh, well, okay. Well,
You do
I'm
not matter.
nope.
Actually, the last time I went there, because my driver's license expired in March around my birthday, and I walked in. I did have an appointment. I walked in. She gave me a ticket. I sat down, and they called my number right away. And I'm just sitting there, just thinking, like, not listening, not thinking, I should say. And the guy behind me taps me on the shoulder. I think that's you. I'm like, already? Awesome. I was in and out in less than like 4 or 5 minutes.
That is really cool. I think it was about 20, 30 minutes for me, but it was okay.
Well, your time is valuable. That's too long, in my opinion.
Yes. Well,
But
it
you
was
made
way
it. You
less than the
survived,
2.5
and you are here.
hours the other day when I attempted to do it. And I'm like, I am not staying here that long.
No way. No way. They talk about postal workers. And you be talking about the driver's license division workers. Can you imagine the amount of patience they have to have for us humans coming in and asking the dumb questions that we ask?
Yes.
Like, bless their hearts.
It does take a certain talent to be a customer service person and to remain calm and
Mhm.
in a perspective.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember once upon a time when you were a guest on Soul Wanderings a handful of times, and everyone referred to you as the numbers lady?
I do.
Because you would come and talk to us about numerology.
Yes, I still
and all
love
the
numerology
greatness.
so much.
Well, we're going to talk about that tonight, and I'm excited because I know you and our guest have a lot of similarities. I'm just going to kick back tonight, Natalie. The show is yours.
Oh, well, wow. That's like, that's why I had the dream I had.
Have fun. No, I'll totally be your sidekick tonight, though.
Oh, lovely.
I'm really excited for our guest because she's doing a lot of really cool things, stuff that we're into, stuff that we've talked about on the show, which is no surprise. I mean, we kind of have a common theme.
Right.
It has anything to do with your greatness, your
Energy,
gifts,
awareness,
and energy,
yeah.
your healing, your spirituality, all of that good stuff. And she has a lot of those unique gifts. And so we're going to be learning a lot about her. And she is a sacred numerologist. Well, she's into sacred numerology. She wrote a book about it. I mean, she must know so much.
I would think so. That would mean that she'd probably be in the IST category.
Yes. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited because I love to hear different perspective, different points of view, and checked up against what I know about numbers, and then maybe expand from there. because there are different lines of thinking. So then it's interesting to see if the numerology is very similar in how you're interpreting it.
So she calls it sacred numerology, and you've said numerology. Is it the same? Do you have an opinion on that?
I don't even.
Have you heard of sacred numerology?
It's we'll have to get some clarity on that because I don't know. What I've studied never was really identified as sacred per se. But so my thoughts, I'm all about the practical application, but then it's funny how the sacred is in the everyday. So from my perspective, sacred doesn't necessarily mean, like, sometimes that's pulled off to mean like extra special. But I'm just like, oh no, like it's just interwoven. Pythagoras said, numbers are everything. Everything is numbers, which means it's all interwoven. And but then when I think about like sacred geometry and these geometric patterns, and it's just could be that there's God, and when you see it as the sacred, then it's like you're seeing that it's all God.
Yeah. And that's all what I'm curious to know how and what this looks like when she spends time with us.
We're just going to tap her brain and listen to all these things that she's learned overall and say, just tell us more. Just tell us more.
Yeah.
And those listeners that heard all the shows that I would do numerology on, then they can have a comparison and contrast.
We'll have another numbers lady.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating how accurate the numbers are. Like, I'm a number 4, and reading the description number 4, I'm like, get out of my head. Right? Because like, how?
And our beautiful friend that's a 5, and you read the description of the 5 and you're like, that is so her.
Yeah.
And not me.
Right. It's really cool though, because and knowing other people's numbers, I mean, she's going to be talking to us about a lot of things. Numerology is just one of them,
right?
And she has a new book out. We'll share all of this with you guys when we get back from the break. But she has a new book out. We'll be talking more about that because, of course, we want everyone to know about her new work, and it's all about her explaining self-doubt and fear and anger and jealousy and anxiety and all that, and results of living through like an ego lens rather than a soul's lens. And so that will be really beneficial for all of us.
Very true.
I imagine.
Yes, I saw that she would assist, that she utilized these tools that she had to assist people in transitioning from like a career transition or relationship things. And I can see how using those tools, so at least a numerology tool, helps you understand when you're not aligned with the way that your energy is operating or designed to operate.
Right.
Yes, before I did human design, I was like using numerology as a wonderful, clear lens to understand where you were junked up in your life.
Yeah. And now you just use that in addition.
In addition, yes. And then within that framework, do you know what's been fascinating? Within the framework of human design, numerology is embedded in it as well. And it also has a similar framework.
Yeah. And what other one? I Ching and
I Ching, yes, numerology, I Ching, the chakra systems, the Kabbalah tree of life. It took like 5 or 6 different systems that are on this planet and blended it all together, as well as the human biology. So different centers correlate to different aspects of our biology.
It really is awesome.
Mind blowing.
I want to just deep dive into your toolbox. Because there's so many tools in there. It would be so much fun.
We'll have to set up another show where I'm like co-host.
It's on. It's on.
I don't mind 2 hours just talking with you about all the things that we just come up to talk about either.
Yeah, so fun.
Yes.
Another day in the near future.
Looking forward to it.
All right, you all, we are going to take a quick break. So when we get back, we'll be able to bring our guests on to wander with us. I hope you all stay close. We're just getting started.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a feel the difference money back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected, only at kgradb.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Wanderings. I'm AJ.
And I am Natalie.
And we are your hosts of this fun show.
Hostess with the mostest.
Fun show. I think it's fun.
We
talk about some heavy stuff, but we do the best we can not to make it as heavy.
Right. We lighten it up in the heavy. We bring in the light.
There you go. Natalie's
like
the whole flashlight. She's the whole shebang.
30,000 lumens or something like that. I have to tell you, so this was funny. We did fireworks yesterday, and there were these little teeny, it was actually pretty fun. But there were these little teeny things that we didn't know what they were. And those things were like looking at a welding torch. They just lit up. And they were super, super bright. You had almost like turn away and they strobed.
Oh, no.
I don't know. They did this flashing light and it was not wise to look at them. But that light reminded me of that.
I know what you're talking about. That's a no.
Yeah. We're like, whoa.
That would be no good for me.
No. It's like turn your back and watch. They lit up the whole like to the backyard. Anyway, that was kind of fun. Fireworks. There was a lot of fireworks going off last night.
On a side note, I am really delighted that people are still celebrating the 4th of July with everything that's going on. I hope that, I guess it's perfect for where they're at for whatever reason, but I hope that it's because they really are grateful and celebrating our country.
Sometimes it's because they like things to go boom.
Yeah, I know. I get it. But anyway, let's just
As a side note.
move
Okay,
on.
back to the show.
We're taking time away from our guests.
That's just no good.
And no, not this guest.
No.
Nope. Not any of our guests, but tonight she has a lot to share. So we are meeting with Reverend Sue Frederick, and she's an ordained Unity Minister, Master Numerologist, lifelong intuitive, and certified past life and between lives soul regression therapist. She's also a speaker and an author, and she has so much to teach us tonight. I'm way excited for this time with you, Sue. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
It's such a pleasure to meet you too, AJ. Hello, and Natalie. So nice to be here with both of you.
Hello. Thank you. I see your background matches your YouTube videos. So good.
Well, it is a vision that I had in 2014 that inspired my latest book. And so sometime tonight, I want to share what that vision is. My husband made a graphic for it so that I could show it and tell it.
Oh, he's got some talent.
That's what he does for a living. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Good. Well, tonight I know we're going to have a focus on your latest work, but you're up to a lot of things. And when we soul wander, we like to get to know you on a personal level, go back as far as you feel comfortable, and just share what comes to you, where we can connect to you as a human. And then you can share with us all of the great things that you do and that you put out into the world.
Yeah, I'm very excited to share my story with you, but I also want to have you remind me that I do want to tonight talk about why I call it sacred numerology. Because I know that was a question that Natalie had as a fellow numerologist. So I would really like to answer that. But let's start with the most important part of my journey happened in my 20s and my late 20s and my first Saturn return. I was married to a beautiful mountain climbing guy. We both taught mountaineering in Colorado. We led groups up 14,000 foot peaks for, I don't know if you remember Colorado Outward Bound School. People would go there in the 70s to overcome fears, and we put out on a solo alone in the wilderness for 3 days and then learned to rock climb. And we dragged them up 14,000 foot peaks. But it was really about their emotional and spiritual way of viewing life as something that they could overcome their fears about. So it was kind of like being a life coach in the 70s before that was a thing. And in that process, my beautiful husband, Paul Frederick, he and I were really spiritual counselors for these kids. And I don't mean religion. Neither of us believed in a religious dogma. I had grown up Catholic, but I had walked away from that when I left home at 17. And he had grown up the son of a Christian minister. So he had had a lot of dogma, and he had walked away and was searching for that meaning. And suddenly this beautiful young man had some stomach problems, and he was diagnosed with colon cancer and given 2 weeks to live. And he was 34, I was 29. And we decided right away he was not going to die. We decided, no, we're going to overcome this. We will do alternative and conventional healing and everything we could get our hands on. This was in the 70s when, we did do chemo and surgery and even a little radiation, but we also did Native American healers and vitamin supplements and diet and everything you could think of. And at the end of the year, Paul realized it way before me, that this was a spiritual soul agreement of him using physical illness to burn away some negativity that he had wanted to get rid of in many lives. And it was kind of a pattern he was stuck in. And so he chose that path of suffering due to his own journey, his soul, not his conscious mind. And I chose to walk it with him because I needed to learn these higher spiritual principles of surrender, letting go, grace, love, and compassion, no matter what. I was all about being strong. I'm a 22-4, Natalie. You probably know what that is.
I'm a 22-4.
Well, there we go. So I was all about being strong. There we are.
And it's fascinating how maybe similar our stories actually are.
Yeah. And so at the age of 29, after caring for him for a year and him suffering greatly, he died very consciously in my arms. And what I mean by that is for the whole last couple of months of his life, the Native American healer, Chief Foolscrow, who we had worked with in South Dakota, was coming to Paul and helping him learn to cross over and teaching him songs in Lakota in his dreams. He didn't know Lakota, and he would wake up singing these Lakota death. He said, Chief Foolscrow taught me a death song and a song to help with the pain. And he would wake up singing those. And the doctors, it freaked him out. They were like, what's happening? Does he have a brain tumor? You know, but he was just in this altered state. And Chief Foolscrow was guiding him. And so when he crossed, I had agreed I would take care of him at home and that he would die in my arms. And instead, due to a medical emergency, he ended up in the hospital, as often happens at the end. And this was before you could go to a hospice. Like, we had a hospice nurse who came to our house, but it wasn't the same as having a place to go when you're dying. And suddenly we found ourselves in a hospital, and he slipped into a coma. And I was so upset because I just felt like I've let him down. I told him he could die at home and he could die in my arms. And all of our friends suddenly showed up, and the room was filled with people. And suddenly his mom was there. You know, everybody got the word, and the place was jammed with people. And I hadn't slept in about a year. And so I fell asleep, took a nap on the floor of the hospital. And instantly Paul appeared to me, vivid, healthy, young, vital, and said, what are you doing on the floor? Get up. You told me that you would hold me, and I'm ready to go. And so I just woke up from this dream vision and said, everybody get out of the room. Paul just came to me and he said he's ready to go. And I told his mom to stay, and she got on one side of him and I got on the other, and we rubbed his body and said, you're free to go. Within 30 seconds, his breathing changed for the first time in days. And he took this long, beautiful sigh, complete peace. And we both saw his spirit leave his body and fly out of the window to the mountains. We were ecstatic. It was a shared death experience, if you know what that is. We were both taken into the realm of the departed. And for weeks, Paul took me there, and I was living with one foot here and one foot in the divine, to the point where I was hearing God consciousness telling me and explaining things to me about what had happened and what I needed to do now. And even to the point where I needed to get an apartment. And so one night I went to sleep exhausted because I had to move and I was grief stricken. And Paul, in this dream, I saw this incredible, very unique apartment with big windows and different levels and different angles to the rooms. And I woke up going, wow, I'd love to live in an apartment like that, but I can't probably afford that, you know? And I had an appointment to see a lot of other places that seemed depressing from what I had read about them in the paper. So I leave to go. And right as I'm pulling into a different street, there's a sign that says for rent. And the voice said, go into that driveway. It doesn't matter if you're late for the other appointment. And I went in and I got to see the apartment. And it was exactly my dream. And there were even other circumstances in it that showed me it was exactly what I had dreamt. And that was just the beginning of Paul taking care of me from the spirit world after he crossed. The next piece has to do with numerology. So, Natalie, I want to share that with you. I'm going to listen in. Yeah, sorry, AJ. Well, as grief happens, as we all know, you have a high sometimes if you have a shared death experience, but then it wears off after a month or two, and you have the grief crash where you just don't even want to be here anymore. And I certainly hit that. I was 29 and all my friends were getting married and having babies, and suddenly the love of my life had suffered greatly. And I had questions about, is there a God? And if there is, why did Paul suffer? Why do good people suffer? Where is he now? Why did he have to leave? And why am I still here? I always tell people those are the important questions of life. And often we don't ask them until we've had our heart broken with grief. And I started asking those questions and exploring different spiritual paths. And a numerologist sat down and gave me a session. And in 1 hour, she explained my path, why I was still here, the work I'd come to do, what Paul's path was about, what our soul agreement was, and just everything in an hour. And this was 1980. And when she left, I could find one book in the bookstore. And so I began studying that book, but also kept keeping a notebook where I'd ask everybody their date of birth and figure it out and see how it applied. And much of my path of the numbers came from divine guidance and Pythagoras telling me stuff, because there was no internet. You couldn't just go Google it or go to an app. And I often say, I'm glad it was that way for me, because I had to be inquisitive and ask, why does that person act that way if they're on an 8 path, and really start exploring it that way. And so for decades, I gave free readings to all my friends and family, but I made my living as a writer because I'm a journalist. I've written 11 books, so it's kind of how I process life, is by writing books. And I got pretty well known in the natural foods, natural products industry, because I was a big editor of natural health magazines, and I would talk about preventing cancer. But my soul wanted to talk about spirit and where do we go when we cross. And I couldn't figure it out in the 90s and 80s how to make a living doing that. And so finally, many different miracles happen, but then I hit a big turning point. We all have many big turning points in our life, especially in numerology. You can kind of map them out. So when I hit one right before I turned 50, I had been giving numerology readings for free for 20 years by that point. And I was a single mom. And my career came to an end because the .com world had crashed all these big VP of content jobs that I'd been promoted up to and on health websites. And suddenly I found myself unemployed, never wanting to write another story about vitamin C as long as I lived, and saying, this is the dark night of my soul. I'm going to lose my home. I can't let this happen to my daughter. And in the darkest night, God and my divine guides said, Sue, how long are you going to fight what you're here to do? You're here to share your intuitive guidance, your spiritual wisdom with people, using your pain as fuel to help them find their great work, heal their grief, and live to their highest purpose. And it was so clear. And I said, numerology, and they said, yes. And the next day I built a website and I said, I'm going to make this work. And everyone said, no, you won't. You're going to lose your home. It's not going to happen. This was 1999. This was before people made their living doing stuff like we do. And so I gave free talks everywhere, taught workshops everywhere. And believe it or not, I was invited to even teach places like Naropa University using intuition and numerology to pick your career. And suddenly I was just in the world doing it. And then I got a book contract right away from a big publisher, and it all just unfolded until this big vision here in 2014. But I'll stop talking now.
I don't think. Sounds right on track to me.
I'm just amazed you don't know Natalie and her history, but you guys have so many similarities in your journey.
So many.
Well, Natalie, I assume or feel that you've also had great loss, and
Yes.
that's what puts us on the path of wanting to help others from this higher spiritual perspective.
Right.
And, it is true. We walk with one foot in the physical, practical, and one foot in the divine. And the problem here is that we lean too much into the physical, practical, mundane, and we forget that we're divine beings who came here on purpose with a mission, and that our greatest moments of heartbreak are our greatest awakenings and our greatest teachings and our greatest gifts. And today I work 100% with grieving clients, especially grieving parents. And I help them shift into that higher view of life, the soul's perspective. And I use numerology to help them understand why they're still here, what their soul agreement is with their departed loved one, and how to move forward. And I call it sacred because there are many numerologists that I don't agree with, and they teach that we are random beings or energy flying through the universe. And on the day we're born, we happen to get an imprint from the date and the numbers of our birth and even the astrology of our birth. It's random. And to me, that is not the kind of numerology that I know to be true. And I call it sacred because I believe that our souls come here intentionally to the physical world, that we are hanging out in the divine realms and we are highly evolved, all of us. And we go, hey, let's push consciousness down to wake up on earth. Let's bring higher wisdom to it. And so we agree to drop in. It's kind of like signing up for duty, and we drop in on a certain path because that's what our soul needs to learn and what our soul needs to accomplish. And we bring in our posse of loved ones, and many of them agree that they're going to break our hearts and hurt us immensely so that we'll really grow and evolve and fulfill our mission. Paul, who broke my heart at the age of 29, is of course my greatest teacher, and he still comes back with so many wisdom tidbits and helps me write my books and explains why I still have to be here. I'm in my 70s now, and I'm always like, are we almost done yet? And I keep getting the message, like, no, a few more years. You got a few more years of work.
Can I look like you when I'm 70,
Right?
please?
No, it's all in the lighting, trust me.
What vitamin C are you taking?
Vitamin C.
Well, I did come from that health background, and I think you guys are into health too. That's why we're all so vital and alive.
I completely follow that concept, and it's interesting because I've always had this sort of connection because I had a framework. So my partner did die after 20 years.
And how old were you when that happened?
36.
Mm.
And she was 42.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was that young kind of, not even like.
And 20 years together is a long time.
Yeah. Well, I was told, Natalie, that I couldn't have 20 years with Paul or I would not have been able to get up again and keep moving. So I really admired that you could do 20 years with your beloved and then work through it and turn it around and find your meaningful work. That's beautiful. My time with Paul was short by comparison, and yet anything more than what we had, I don't think I would have had the strength to keep going.
Oh, there's some days I just did not. I laid in bed just going, okay. I'd go through the list of to-dos and things. And it was usually someone, like I was in human resources at the time, and there was usually some thing sitting on my desk at work that involved someone that would pull me up and get me there.
Yeah, divine order stepping in to help out. And also our beloved departeds, they never, quantum physics teaches time and space is happening all at once. So even if they've moved on and reincarnated, they are also able to come and be with us. And they're committed to helping us heal and live a productive life because they're part of our soul agreement. So Paul has a big job in the divine realms. He's told me all about it. He greets souls when they cross and helps them do their life review and process their life. He's so good at that, and he loves it so much. And, and he also probably is incarnated somewhere else. That's just how the time-space continuum works that we can't get our minds around.
Well, it's best if we just don't try to get our minds around it because they just get in the way.
Right.
We're meant to be human. We're meant to be in this human experience.
I am very fond of saying it is a human experience. We are, and that's
I think it's 50% human. I'll argue with you about that because we tend to lean way too much into the practical and the mundane. So, for example, we all hit these reinvention points. And if we only listen to the logic brain, like I would never have started doing my work that I'm doing. I wouldn't have written all these books and helped all these people because the logical thing, the earthbound way to survive a reinvention point is you hunker down and get that horrible job and, get that minimum wage or whatever it is. I totally disagree with that. We're here to fulfill our soul's purpose, and it's different for everyone, but it requires a leap of faith and a courageous act to get to it. Look at you two doing this.
Yeah, so it's interesting that I'll say that, although in my own life, I have definitely been guided all the time, my life. And so I just have let's see, go words. So I really truly believe it comes from when I see people get too caught up and chasing spirit too much. When I say, look, when you're in the body, the work is done here, connected with spirit. So I don't not at absence or at loss of spirit. I mean, I am so integrated with that I'm walking, talking that in my human body. But it's this awareness that I'm like, look, it is. So I do remind my spiritual friends, I'm like, oh, look at you having a human experience.
Well,
and that's important too.
Here's another thing. I disagree with the world about so many things. And one of the things I disagree with is this term, I'm a spiritual person, because we're all divine beings at our core. We are light beings. There's nothing about deciding to be spiritual. You've just got to wake up from the illusion of being human.
Exactly.
And the minute we cross over, we get to wake up, we get to lose the body, we get to ascend into our own divine realms, light being home that is filled with unconditional love. I went to 4 years. Well, let me just tell you, I've lived in a Hindu ashram. I've studied Buddhism. I grew up Catholic. I visited the Theosophical Society and studied Theosophy. I've worked with Native American spiritual teachers. And I spent 4 years in my 60s becoming a unity minister. And the reason I've done all of that is because I think the only answer to our pain comes from the spiritual perspective or the soul's view of our lives. And we can only find that if we've dipped our toe in all the different paths and we know which one resonates as true and what the common thread is in all of those. And unity teaches that there is only one good God force in the universe, and it runs everything and lives inside of all of us. And that is God the good, the force of love. And once you embrace that concept, it just puts everything into the right perspective. And things here on earth don't look like they're all good. And that brings me to my vision I have to share later on. But we are all unfolding exactly as we should. And God consciousness is definitely in charge of all of this.
Oh, agreed. No argument with you on that. I complete. In fact, I spent quite a while just saying, look, it's all in divine order. I don't know how it's in divine order. I just know that that's a capital T truth for me.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what the theme of this book, my newest book, Through a Divine Lens, because I had all these other books, like books about reinventing career, about understanding your soul agreement in relationships, about working through your grief. Thank you for putting that picture up. Thank you. Books about helping you connect to your departed to heal grief. But I wanted to show people, and then I had this fever dream. So it was 2014. I had just come back from teaching a big grief shifting workshop at Kripalu Retreat Center in Massachusetts. And, 30-something people all connecting to their departed through the exercises we were doing. And it was extraordinary. They all get these messages and write them and hear from their beloveds. And so I just loved, I have always loved that work. But anyway, I got home and I was sick, because I do tend to get run down when I'm teaching somewhere. I just give, and I'm all on for 3 or 4 days, and up late with everybody. And so I came home and I had 104 degrees of fever and a horrible cough. And my family is used to this. My kids and my husband, like, they know when mom gets this kind of thing, she's going to go down for a few days, no matter what remedies she takes or anything. And one night the fever was burning so high that I was lifted out of my body and I was taken on a journey away from planet Earth. If you can see this vision, I was held in space looking at planet Earth, and the guides and the angels were showing me all these shoots of light shooting up from the earth, and they were sparked by individual souls waking up to love and compassion on earth, no matter what religion, no matter what country, no matter what ethnicity. As a soul would wake up to love and compassion being the most important things, the light would beam, and it would beam beyond the earth. And then it would spark another light next to it. And they were holding me out of the vision, out of the world, showing me this and saying to me, so you see, Sue, the light and the love is always winning, even when it doesn't look that way. And they were saying, you have to remember this, because there's going to be some hard years coming on planet Earth. This was 2014, when things were reasonably sane here before a lot of chaos happened. And so I was just being shown that you have to teach this. You have to explain that no matter how it looks, love and light are always winning and always will win. And so I came back into my body, and for days I tried to put words to it and I couldn't express it, and I was still sick. So my daughter brought me my laptop and I started writing, and that's how I always bring things into focus. And as I started writing, this whole book channeled through me and poured out about how do we shift into that beautiful perspective, even when we're devastated with loss, when we're broke, when we're losing our career, when people we love are hurting us, or when we're arguing about politics, all these things that have happened in recent years, COVID. How do we trust that this is real? So the book is filled with techniques, meditations, guided processes, and simple things that people can do every day to shift into that higher perspective, because that's what we all have to be doing. Things are rough here and everybody's hurting. So if we can each just have our own ways, and one of the easiest way is we just take a deep breath, and I always say, even just lift up your face and say, please, divine guides, or please, God consciousness, lift me up above my human pain and my ego perspective. Show me the wisdom of my soul looking at this moment. Show me what the lesson is and help me walk through it with love and courage. And so it is. That simple thing shifts our energy and puts us into that higher perspective.
Ah, that's so beautiful.
Another tool for the toolbox.
Right?
So beautiful. We need to take our top of the hour break. When we return, we'll continue another hour of wandering with our guest, Reverend Sue Fredericks. We'll be right back.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected. Only at kgradb.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soul Wanderings. We are heard here on kgradb.com, your number one, I should say.
Number one.
Your number one paranormal and alternative talk network. Head over to the shows and hosts area. It's there. You'll be able to see the lineup of all of the great shows that are hosted here on the station. We are on the Wednesday line, obviously. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, because we're one of the last shows of the night, Soul Wanderings, there are a few buttons there that you can take advantage of to receive a discount if you decide to try the membership area for a week or a month or for the year, forever. Forever is a long time.
That is a long time. Maybe that's a little
but
much.
But hey,
to ask.
If you want to save 30%
one
off,
year at a time.
Yeah. Every year, get it now.
Yeah.
Get it while the getting's good. You can also visit us at soulwanderings.com. You can interact with us there, connect to our social media platforms, as well as send us messages at connect@soulwanderings.com. We love to hear from our wanderers. In fact, you all are filling up the chat room quite nicely. I had a little question in the chat room if anyone would be interested in a mini soul mission numerology reading, and we're getting a few people saying yes. So we'll find some time to do that in the next hour. I think that will be fun. So generous of our guest Sue to offer that to us. Sue, the picture behind you, I have to say, I had a conversation today with a client because During the day, I own and operate a healing center. Natalie works in this space with me. We have clients come in on the regular, even every day, just to visit. And this particular client, he's all about like, what's going on in the universe today? Are you feeling different? Do you have this going on? This, that, and the other. He talked about a soul reboot that he heard is going to be happening. And I know like people say and do, but this was his experience. And he said literally over a time period of 30 seconds to a minute, all of us our souls are going to come out of our bodies, and our bodies are going to get a reboot, made whole again, made new again, and then our soul will go back to our physical body. And when you were sharing that, although it is a different perspective, when you were saying all of the souls who have decided to join Team G and love and all of that, I was like, that's what it would look like to me. The way that he was explaining what is meant to happen for us, it really is a return to love. For those, when I see that, I see people.
But I don't see that as having a specific timeline of 30 seconds when it happens.
Right.
Instead, it's all of us waking up in our ability to wake up.
Right.
By whatever precipitates us. But the truth is that he's probably tapping into that the consciousness is speeding up here on Earth. So we are at this, we're at this tipping point of stepping more into the light and letting go of the lower consciousness, because everything is now in these chaotic times coming up to the surface. And I always teach, you can't feel it, you can't heal it until you feel it. And so the universe is kind of bringing up all the darkness, all the craziness out of the crevices and corners so that we can pour light and love on it and heal it and transform it. That's why you see so much crazy stuff going on and so much enlightened stuff going on all at the same time. It's extreme light and dark so that we can heal all of this.
I agree. I totally agree with that. And I feel like some people are getting lost in that chaos because it is heavy and it is dark and it is challenging to see that there is also light on the contrast of everything that is going on, and not to lose hope.
Yeah. I mean, I think, Marianne Williamson taught this years ago, that there's only two emotions we have, and it's fear or love, and everything falls in those categories. So when I hear all these people talking about, the conspiracy theories, and I go, what are you feeling right now while you're talking about this? Oh, I am afraid and I'm planning this and planning that. That's not God consciousness energy. That's not love. That's not compassion. That's not opening to our connection as souls. That's hunkered down in the ego mind, the human story. And we have to open up and claim our divinity at the same time that we're in our human bodies. That's hard. That takes quite a shift, quite a vibrational shift. But it only happens through love and compassion. Also through laughter, through humor, through all the things that raise our energy, gratitude, sweetness, kindness, all these things raise our vibration. And if you ask yourself which political people are seeding the hatred and division, then you can decide for yourself if that's love and compassion, or if there's a different way that has more love and compassion. I know for me, just from my own journey here, that I have to take a stand for love and compassion, and I refuse to buy into all the fear stuff, and I will do what feels right in front of me for helping myself and the world with love and compassion. And so it is.
So it is. Beautiful. What a great example.
What a great example. It's so true.
Well, you see things out in the media right now that look like love. They're actually quite dark.
Yeah.
So it is.
You have to be, what is that word? Discriminative. What is that word? We have to be discriminating. Yeah. We do. We have to dig beyond the surface of things and really say, how does this feel in my heart? I mean, it's easy for all of us to be terrified of things and of things we're hearing and of things that happen that we see on the news. Even stuff like, I live in Arizona and we're having, fires coming pretty close again. And I lived in Colorado and we were having terrible fires there when I left. And so every moment we're deciding, what's the future of our planet? What's the future of our consciousness, of our careers, of our economy? And the only stand I can take on it is there has always been a divine order to all of it. And I have to trust that in the darkest moments, that light and love is still there, as in my vision. And that even if it becomes a war or a crisis, I will do my best to act from love and compassion and light, no matter what happens. And that's all we can do, is take our personal stance, And I'm grateful that in other lifetimes I was a warrior, because I know in one of my recent lives I was an Apache female warrior. And I've relived that because I'm a soul regression therapist. And I see that in that life I was learning to be strong and competent and all kinds of good stuff. I was also a medicine woman. But in this life, I came to take the arc of learning from warrior, which I kind of was a warrior in my 20s until Paul died, to healer. And now taking the stand of, I will help you with your pain. That's all I care about doing for the rest of my time here.
That's beautiful. For those who are listening and thinking, I mean, we have a pretty great audience. They're all pretty much on the same page, if not the same chapter, as far as the feeling and the thinking goes. But there are some people, naysayers, that will say love and light. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. How that's so woo-woo. That's so spiritual garbage. Right.
Well, that's where they are. And there's no arguing with where people are and their perceptions. I can't convince another person. I can't show them what I've seen in my life out of body, how Paul has come back to teach me, how Chrissy, my best girlfriend who died right after Paul, how she's come back to help me and teach me. I've had so many sacred teachers, and plus I've studied at the feet of many spiritual teachers. So I can't convince anybody of that, and I don't need to. I can write about it. I can help my clients. I'm booked with clients I had to cut it off at 6 months because it freaked me out too much to be booked a year ahead of time. And I know if you guys probably know that too, you have to make a cutoff or you start to hyperventilate. Like, really? I know what I'm going to be doing every day for the next year. I can't do that. So I've got as many clients as I could possibly have, and I'm grateful for every one of them. But even, my husband gets scared of things on the news, and and I just have to say, we get to choose. We get to choose how we walk it. And even if you look back to dark times in our history in the past, when it seemed like hatred was winning, there were people who were doing good things and walking in the light and helping other people, no matter what happened. And that's who I want to be. We get to pick. We get to pick who we're going to be in this great drama unfolding in the human realm.
Right. Yeah, by no means was my comment or question in regards to like forcing anyone to feel a certain way. I just know some people may even want to feel that way and aren't sure how to do that. But I want to move on from that because time is limited. Can you talk to us a little bit more about, or not actually more, but talk to us about our intuition and our guidance system? Like, how can we tap into that and trust it?
So when I was born in New Orleans, and my mother is French Creole, and I was born to this long lineage of intuitive, powerful women, and many of them had been persecuted for that, put into the back then, I think it was called the asylum for talking to spirit, and doing things like that in New Orleans. And And so my mother taught me when I was little, I'd come to the table and share a precognitive dream about a car wreck that would happen later that day. But she told me, she said, Sue, sharing that stuff will get you in big trouble. Just settle down and get a good grade in school and marry a nice boy. It was the 50s. That was her message. And so in lots of ways, I shut my intuition down because I didn't feel like it was going to serve me and I needed to make a living. I wasn't born into any kind of money or anything like that. And so it was only really when Paul died that I totally began to open up to that intuitive part of myself again and trust it, even though I'd had precognitive dreams that had freaked out every partner I'd ever been with, and all that stuff. But I had just kind of decided it was my weirdness. And I was trying not to share that with many people. I wanted to be loved and normal.
I feel
Yeah.
so much.
And so, but then, as I began to lean into it, I realized there's a way to know when it's your true loving intuition and versus your fear. And I think that's what confuses people is they'll get a fearful feeling and they'll go, oh, I have a feeling something bad's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And what I've learned about intuition is you put out your intention, and mine is I only want information and guidance from the highest divine realms because that's how it serves me and the people I help the best. And no, I don't want to see some terrible thing happening unless there's a way through it that is also revealed. And so that's how it comes to me. And the way I trust it is when I get that feeling, when I have that automatic writing coming through, if it comes in with love and wisdom and empowerment, I know it's real. Mm-hmm. If it comes in with fear and makes you feel small and afraid, it is not your God intuitive self speaking to you. And I'll give you an example. When my daughter was young, she was at school and in the gym, and she fell and hit her head. And I got the call no mother wants to get, your daughter fell in the gym and we think she has a concussion and you've got to hurry and take her to the ER. And I was the world's worst worry mom because I had lost Paul and Chrissy and my dad all very quickly in my early 30s. And so I didn't want my baby girl, who was my miracle child, to ever die or leave me. And so driving there, I prayed and I hit a stoplight. And I took a deep breath and I said, please show me the wisdom of this moment and calm me down so that I can handle this with grace and love. And I instantly saw my daughter throwing up. I even saw what she threw up. It was very vivid. And at the same time, I was told, but all is well and all will be well with her. This is not an exit point. And so I just calmed down and I got to the school and she had just thrown up exactly like I had seen in my vision, and took her to the ER. And we spent a scary day there. But at the end of the day, she was okay. And I know that vision came in with love. And I know that it was correct. And I've also heard from many moms who've lost their children. And I just worked with a dad last week who told me on that day that my son went to climb that mountain, I just suddenly knew he's not going to come back. Something terrible is going to happen. But then I went and talked to him and he assured me and made me feel it was all okay. And so I had to trust that that was what was unfolding and I wasn't going to live in fear. And he had gotten a precog and his son did cross on that mountain, but it was a huge soul agreement and it changed his life in so many profound ways that today he would tell you were necessary for his growth and that his son is at his side in spirit, constantly helping him and guiding him. So we know things, but often we can't change them. And that's something I want to tell listeners is, we want to believe that we're in control of things here on earth, don't we? The human mind thinks, oh, I'm in control of this, Mm-hmm. And yet the ego is not in control. The souls are in control and the soul agreements are in control. And God consciousness in divine order is driving it all. So when it's out of our hands, our act of surrender has to be, I surrender to whatever this lesson is. Show me the way through it with grace and love. And you will be shown. You will be shown how to move through it.
So I think that's such a key of empowerment for people, especially people doing grief. I too work so much with grievers. I mean, it's the bulk of what I do. But to understand that even this death or this thing that's tragedy, and I do a lot of work with suicide loss, is for. And so this concept of understanding soul contracts, which is actually not known to a lot of people. A lot of people do not have the framework of soul agreements or soul contracts. And I find that when they consider it, their first thing is like, why in the world? Why in the world would I agree to this? But then it kind of plants a seed. And then through time, they can come to how that was for. I remember this one beautiful woman whose husband died, and she said, I cannot imagine how this is for me. And then through just time and continuing to heal, she discovered that there was a for. Like it just showed up.
In numerology, you know, Natalie, that the beauty of it is I have clients map out all their 9-year cycles on this piece of paper, and then they put in the year of their life through all those cycles. And we come up to a 9-year and say, what happened in your journey when you hit this 9-year cycle? And they'll go, oh, I lost my job, and oh, this happened. And I go, and then look how you moved forward and how your life got better and on and on. And then here's another one. And they start going, wow, everything that I thought was the end of the world actually ended up helping me become a better person and grow and evolve. And that's the beauty that numerology gives us, is that soul's perspective on our lives. I always tell people it's like getting to do your soul review before you've left your body.
Oh, yes. I love that. So when you're talking about 9-year cycles, you're saying like year 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you start again, or exactly how does that work?
No, every path has a different personal year pattern to it. So, for example, how do I explain this? Right now, the way to figure out, any listener who wants to know what personal year they're in today, they would add the current month and I'm getting confused because I'm talking on radio, even though I do this every day for a living.
I was going to say, you're a professional.
I know, I do this, and I've even written this amazing workbook to help people figure it out. But you take your date of birth with your month of birth, and you add it to the current calendar year. So for me, example, it would be September is a 9, the date is a 16, which is a 7. So add those together. The date of my birth is the 15th, which is a 6. I must be really nervous. And so you add those together and you get a 6. And then you add that to the current calendar year, which we know is a 7. So that puts me in a 4 year. And when you add it 3 ways, one of the ways or 2 of the ways is a 22-4 year. And so I'm having a 22-4 personal year. And that's why my book just came out and all that work stuff is happening. But 3 years ago, when I hit the end of a cycle, Natalie, you'll appreciate this story. So will you, AJ. Sorry to keep talking to Natalie about numbers.
No, it's good. You guys have this. I'm here for the show. I'm totally good.
But when you've done numbers a long time and you see a 9-year and end of a cycle coming, you just start thinking, oh, I know how to surrender and let go of what needs to be let go of. So I'm just going to cruise through this. I had been through so many endings of cycles before, and I felt like I had it figured out, right? And so suddenly, whenever you think that's when the universe goes, okay, you're ready for the next level of learning. So my husband, Gene, who I'm married to now, who is the best human being on earth, he was suddenly diagnosed with really aggressive prostate cancer. And as you know, my first husband died from colon cancer. And so Gene and I oh my gosh, I just went, all right, well, if this is to be our journey, I surrender to whatever it is and what you need from me. And he said, I'm not going now. And we are going to find the one doctor in the world who's going to say that they can help. And we found that doctor in Arizona at Mayo Clinic. And so for my 9-year, we packed up our family home in Colorado, and it was quite painful. Anybody who's packed up a family home when they're not sure what's going to happen next in their life, it's pretty hard to do, and did all that while Gene was down in Arizona where we live now, and he was getting treatment. And when that house sold and I came down here, he had picked out a house for us. I'd never even seen it or walked into it until I got here. And then we continued getting through his treatment. In that 9-year, I had no idea what my life would be here in Arizona. I knew no one. I didn't know if I was going to be a widow in 6 months. It was all up in the air. And divine order, in its beautiful way, brought me into the greatest part of my entire life here in Arizona. Because when we take those reinventions and walk into them with courage, they bring us somewhere better. And here I am in my 70s. I have the best girlfriends I've ever had in my life. And not only that, but I'm very involved with a nonprofit organization here called Helping Parents Heal that I met when I got here. The founder is Elizabeth Boisson. She's my best friend now. And she lost 2 children years ago and started this nonprofit for helping parents look at death and grief in a completely different way than the traditional way. And now I'm very deeply involved in that. And it's the most meaningful work of my life. And my husband is doing great. And that's another reinvention point under my belt. That's how they go.
I love that. It always is in divine order. And every time you think everything is falling apart, it really is all coming together. It's such a beautiful process. If we could just have that knowing and remembering when we're going through it, it makes for a softer landing.
It's nice to have a map kind of laid out that says,
Yeah.
okay, this is the 9-year.
Right.
Knowing what that means. But it does take learning the language, learning the vocabulary, touching into that, or connecting with the professional from time to time for them to remind you. I mean, there's plenty of us out there that says, look, if you're struggling, just connect with someone. There will be someone that will show up or be around you for you to connect with.
And I always teach classes in numerology on Zoom that are very affordable. My last one was, I think, $40 for a 3-week course, just so that people who don't have the time or money to do a personal session with me, they can jump into these courses and learn enough about numerology to be able to figure out their life cycles and their reinvention cycles and their purpose and all of that. Because like you're saying, I do believe we all need to develop a language that helps us cope with our physical journeys here. And it can't be the language that we're fed on TV and in the news and in reality shows. It has to be a language with more wisdom in it. And that's what sacred practices and sacred studies bring us, that higher wisdom.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I have a question. We want to open up the phone lines for a couple or few readings, but how long does a mini reading take? And I'll decide how many callers we'll take.
I only want to take 3 because back in the day when all my books were out, I would get on these shows and I would do one reading after another. And I have a client first thing in the morning tomorrow,
No, that's great.
In my 70s, I have to take care of my energy. So
absolutely. In fact, I told our producer no more than 3. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, you should have seen me back in 2008 when my first book came out. These people would put me on their show and they would just disappear, and suddenly I have one caller after another. And by the end of the hour, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. You just can't.
That's not the kind of space we want held here for you tonight. We're very grateful for the offer and the opportunity. So Let's open up the phone lines for the first 3 callers only. If
But
you aren't
I
able to get in
need a
tonight,
date
there's
of
ways
birth.
you can reach out to Sue directly in the future.
And AJ, if you want them to chat their date of birth, I'm going to need their date of birth. I don't know if they want to say that out loud, on the radio. How do you want to handle that?
Oh, I will just say they need to say it out loud on the radio.
Okay.
It's fine. If they want something private, they can get in touch with you personally.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in being one of those 3 callers, you'll want to call in now, get in right away. And the number for you to do that is 855-472-5483, which is 85KGRA Live. And then we'll hang out here for a minute. I imagine it won't take long, and our producer is going to get bombarded by a bunch of calls.
Also, while we're waiting, I would love to share a story about my best girlfriend crossing, because I think it'll help people who are experiencing grief and worried about where their loved one is or how their loved one is doing. Beautiful. So until we have those callers, you can interrupt me when we have them. But right after Paul died, my best childhood girlfriend, Chrissy, came to visit me in Colorado, and she and I had processed our lives together since we were in first grade. Maybe like you two are, we were just so close and connected at the hip. And as soon as she was visiting me, we went skiing. I was living in Colorado. And by the end of the day, she had this terrible bruise up and down her leg from falling. And we were both like, wow, do you think you broke something, and put her back on the plane to go back to her life in California. And by the time she got off the plane, she was covered in bruises, and they took her to the hospital, and she was diagnosed with advanced leukemia. This was 6 months after Paul died. So you can imagine my state at that point, Mm-hmm. And so I kept in touch, and we kept processing the journey with her. And then a year later, I was living in Mexico because I didn't want to speak English. I wanted to live in another country and forget life. And I sold all my belongings, and I taught fitness at a resort in Mexico. Trying to forget pain, which, by the way, doesn't work, people.
No, it does not.
And so I woke up, one night, all night long. I thought Chrissy was doing good. She was in remission, but all night long she was with me, and she was laughing with me so hard, making my stomach hurt. She was laughing, making me laugh so hard, and showing me things and flying me around and showing me friends of ours. And we were kind of laughing at it all. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh my God, I'm with Chrissy, and she's making me laugh so hard. And I'd fall back asleep. And by the morning, my stomach muscles hurt from laughing with Chrissy. And I just thought, oh my God, I got to call the States. I've got to find out if she's alive. And I called the States, and her mom said, Chrissy crossed last night. But I want everyone grieving to know that the first thing she did was show me it was pure joy. She was laughing and visiting all of her beloved friends. She was taking me on the journey. And it was absolutely joy and bliss for her. And she was only 30 years old. So if you've lost a loved one, you have to trust that they are not in a state of pain or angst that they may have been, especially if they took their own life or anything like that. They don't live in that negative state. As soon as they're free of the body, they are in the realm of unconditional love, joy, and happiness.
Beautiful message. Thank you, Sue.
Oh, for sure.
We talk about grief quite a bit. Natalie is a grief coach. And I think the reminders are so important because there's always someone out there who's going through an experience. Mm-hmm. Thank you. So we do have a couple of callers. We still have one more caller if you guys are wanting to get on the third one. Let's keep these short and sweet, you guys. Let's have you just give your birthday and not a whole story. Let's just have you guys just call in, give your name, your birthday, and
give me a first name is good.
Let Sue do what she does. And let's welcome our first caller to the show. Hi, Bobby.
Hello, AJ. Hello, Natalie.
Hello. I'm glad you got in this time. Welcome. Let's have you meet directly with Sue.
Hey, Bobby.
So my birthday is July 31st, 87.
July 31st, 1987. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, an old soul 9-path Leo. That's a little nod from my dad right there. Oh, guess what, Bobby? You're in a 9 personal year. You know that year we were just talking about where everything seems like it's falling apart? You're in one of those years of ending of a cycle. So whatever's going on in life, just trust that it is about letting go what no longer serves you. That could be career, that could be relationships, but opening your heart and trusting that all is well, no matter how it appears. Next year at this time, you'll be telling us how good your life is going and all these new things that are happening. Also, because you're on the Leo 9 path, it means that you're a very old soul. You've been through many lives, and you agreed to come in this life to kind of pass that test of not being disappointed in the unconsciousness of this world, and instead stepping into your wisdom, your compassion, your kindness, no matter what comes to you, and doing work that makes a difference in the world. Bobby, what do you do for a living?
Well, I really don't do too much because I usually will have something like when it comes to like big jobs. I mean, I used to work at Walmart, and yeah, and sometimes when it gets too much, I need to take a break. But sometimes it's like I just can't just take a break, and I need to take a break. So it's like either you give me a break or you're going to have to fire me.
Well, here's what I want you to do, Bobby. Next year in January, you're starting a whole new cycle of your life. And I want you to look for a job that allows you to feel that you're helping people somehow, not just working in retail and sales. That could be working in healthcare, you know, starting out as an assistant and then maybe getting some training on the job. You are really here to be a healer, a healthcare provider of some kind that feels right to you. And working in a hospital might make you feel much more content and at peace with your old soul self, because you're here to help others and make a difference. And it will help with your exhaustion, because you'll be very fueled by having to hold somebody's hand and help them feel better, even as you might be just taking them to some test they have to get, but you'll be able to have those moments of comforting them, and that will really help you.
See.
That's great. Thank you, Sue.
Thank
Bobby,
you.
thank you for calling into the show. We appreciate your support.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Adelaide. Thank you, Sue. Great show.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night. All right, we're just going to move right on to our second caller. We'd like to welcome Jackie to the show.
Hi, Jackie.
AJ. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, everybody.
What's your birthday, dear?
1970.
Okay.
We love numerology.
Oh,
So let me make sure I added this right. A cap 3. Yeah, cap 3. And you're also in, oh, that's good. You're in an 11 personal year. 1970. So interesting stuff going on here. The path your soul chose for this lifetime is called the Capricorn 3, which means you wanted to be practical and able to be on the earth and be, you know, creative and good at your job and smart and all that good stuff. And I'm sure that you are clever and witty and creative, but you're also at a journey in your life moving towards that second Saturn return, which is asking you to step up to opening your heart more and quieting the mind, because on that 3 path, we can get very comfortable being in our brilliant head all the time and our ideas and our creativity, but life will call you to trust your heart more than your mind. And you're at that turning point of feeling the pain you need to feel in order to heal, and then opening your heart more as you move forward. You would be, I'm sure you've already got a career, but if you had ever wanted to be a therapist or something like that, where you help people process their pain, you would be good at that. Even a coach, you would be good at that. You also can be a writer if you're interested in that. And you are also an entrepreneur. So hopefully you aren't just working a job and you are creating your own business. What are you doing for a living?
I am actually a public assistance caseworker. I do SNAP and Medicaid for customers that need help.
So kind of like a therapist?
Oh, yes. I talk to customers all the time, and they ask for life advice, and I give it to them.
That's really good. And you're right now, you're in an 11 personal year, and that 11 is about feeling incredibly intuitive and sensitive, and use that energy to embrace your spiritual wisdom and your intuition more than ever. Don't let your brilliant mind talk you out of trusting your intuition, which can happen with a 3 path.
Yep, definitely.
Oh, that's so good.
So good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you,
for
Jackie.
calling in, Jackie.
Thanks.
It's nice to hear your voice.
Yes,
Hey,
it
you
is.
too.
I love it. All right, we're going to bring in our very last caller, and then the phone lines are closed this time. If you guys are interested in getting a reading from Sue, or learning more about her workshops, her speaking appearances, or following along her YouTube channel, we'll share all of that information here shortly. Let's welcome Joel to the show.
Joel.
Hi there.
Joel.
Hi, guys.
Are you there, Joel?
Joel, J-O-E.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Joel.
Oh, Joe. I'm sorry.
Okay. What's your birthday, friend?
3/2/1967.
All right.
Ooh,
Mark, baby.
Look at that.
Yeah. 13, 14. So I want to say something to you, Joe. You're a deeply, let me check one other thing here. 9, 10, 12, 3 personal year.
Is this Mr. Fox by chance?
Yes, it is.
Aw, thanks for calling and always supporting the show. We
Oh, boy.
appreciate you.
And you are right moving into that second Saturn return we've been talking about. So first what I want to say is your path is the Pisces 1. And right away, I know that you were an incredibly sensitive kid when you were born. And that part of the childhood struggle was learning to be tough enough to be a man, so to speak, in the world that you grew up in. Because being born in 1967, you know, men were still told not to cry, not to have feelings, not to be sensitive. And yet you are deeply sensitive. And I want you to trust that beautiful heart of yours and let it show as much as you can. You're also a leader and a visionary, but there is some self-doubt that holds you back sometimes. That probably comes from childhood, maybe other lifetimes. But this is the lifetime where you let it shine. And especially now, because you're moving in these next 3 years of your life, you are moving into the time when your soul really wants you to step out in the world, whether it's writing that book or giving talks or teaching your own classes. It's time for you to be the visionary leader and trust your sensitivity and intuition to guide you. You're a beautiful, sensitive soul, and the world is not easy on men like that. So sending you lots of love and encouragement.
Oh, thank you so much, Sue. Thank you.
Ah, that's so good. Joe, I'm glad you called in. Thank you very much.
Natalie and AJ, thank you. I love you guys.
Oh,
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. Thank you. He's one of our
yeah.
regular listeners and supporters of the show. So grateful.
Aw.
We really do have a fantastic group that follows along. You guys are awesome.
It's because you two are so enlightened and amazing. You just pull in these beautiful souls.
We are super blessed, no doubt.
So true.
No doubt. Thank you for taking the time to do that, Sue. That was really awesome of
3
you.
is perfect. I can live with 3 in my old age.
Yeah, I think it's good too. There's no point in doing readings for hours and hours.
No.
That's just a lot, but we're really grateful for the gift that you gave to us tonight.
Thank
you. I
you.
do have a question.
Yes.
But it's a little bit different track, but you said that you're a past life regressionist.
I was headed there.
Oh, see, we're just on the same track here. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes.
I just had an experience with someone that I work with that did some past life stuff with me. And I was just kind of like, okay, wow, that was way different sort of past life energy. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Here's how I do it. Because, for years I've been doing these numerology sessions, where I get download automatic writing before the session begins. And I share that with the person. Working with grieving people in particular, I'm connecting to their departed as well and getting writing from them. And these departed spirits were telling me things like, we were in this lifetime together, me and mom, and this is what our relationship was. And I would just write it down because I'm just taking notes before taking dictation before the session. Then I would share it and it would mean so much to the parent. So then I decided, well, I better go and really get trained how to do this. And I would love to take people on these journeys to see what not have me tell them, but they get to experience it. And I found a wonderful teacher, the Raven Heart Center. I recommend it to anyone who wants to do it. And I got certified as a between lives regressionist, where I can take people into the divine to meet with their guides and their counsel and all of that. And then also a past life regressionist, where I take them into a significant past lifetime. And they tell me, I guide them with relaxation and guide them on the journey. And they tell me what they're experiencing. And then we come out of the 2-hour session and I help them process it because, I'm writing notes the whole time. And so as soon as we're out of it, I'm like this morning, I had a 2-hour soul regression client, and she's also a grieving mom. And so her beautiful experience was in the divine realms. She felt her son in a way that she hadn't felt her son since he had crossed over. She could smell him and feel him and touch him. And, she knew he was with her. And so she got to ask him questions about, why did you go? And why am I here? And she got to hear the answer. That's the beauty of this journey, is that we aren't trying to help them understand it. They are having the experience themselves. And then in the past lifetime, she saw this incredible life where she had been a healer and her children were all part of her healing work. And then she came out of that and we processed it, talking about what would be the purpose of having incredible heartbreak in this lifetime if in the last lifetime you were wrapped in love and doing beautiful work. And she got her answer to that, which put her in such a place of peace, because that was her whole heart was, why did I have to go through this trauma? I'm a loving soul. I'm good to people. I'm a healer. In this life, she's a nurse. In a past life, she was a midwife in another culture. And so her getting to go on that journey, she got to answer it all for herself, which I have it then on the recording, and I can send it to her. And these sessions are so powerful. That's in this book, my newest book, Through a Divine Lens. I included the transcripts of several of those sessions, especially for grieving moms. And they're profound. Like, you just can't make this stuff up when you go and read it and see what people are experiencing. And, that helps us get that bigger view of life. Who are we as souls? We've been here many times and we come on purpose for certain reasons. And the more the person, the client, can experience this journey themselves and not have other people telling them stuff, the more helpful and healing it is.
I love this so much. I'm going to walk away feeling like rejuvenated, if you will. You know, when you just get, not that I question anything that's going on in my life, but you just get kind of worn down
Oh,
sometimes.
we all do.
What am I doing? And
I
then you
know.
have someone cross your path like you who are like, here's your little reminders you asked for.
But let me assure you all, I am human and divine, just like all of you. I have my bad days. I mean, I get bogged down in work. I've been complaining about all my emails to answer and all this stuff, so then I have to pull myself up and do that little prayer that we did at the beginning and call in my help and my spirit and my loving consciousness. And often I ask at night to be taken on a journey to the divine realms for healing and rest, so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm actually well rested and I can remember it. Last night I had an amazing time going into the divine realms, and I was taught this movement, this sacred movement for healing. And I woke up remembering it. It was so incredible. So we can ask for those kinds of things when we go to sleep, and we'll have them. But then when we wake up, we have to remember right away to pay attention and write down anything we remember. But our dreams provide a constant source of healing for us.
Yes, I get most of my messages in my dreams. And when I wake up, I hurry and jot them down. And almost always something happens through that day. There was a person in my dream who shows up at the shop or whatever that looks like. And I'm like, yes, thank you. This is so magical. I'm so
That's right.
grateful. I love it so much.
Do you ever reach out to somebody and go, gosh, I dreamed about you all night. Did you dream about me? And see if they validate that they were with you?
I've never asked anyone if they've dreamt about me. But I do share. I do share that they came into my dream. Yes. Yeah, no, I don't ever
like,
ask
"No, no."
people, "Did you dream about me last night?" No, that's not who I am.
I found that if I have a night where I'm with a person and it's not, not a regular dream, it's being in the realms with them and I'm with them all night, even if I can't remember what we were talking about, but I remember their essence, I will tell them, I'll either email them or text them or something and say, hey, was I in your dreams? I have this one mom here that I'm best friends with in Arizona. She lost her daughter in 2019, and I have the most extraordinary dreams about her daughter telling me stuff to tell the mom, and then being with the mom, doing different activities. And whenever I wake up, I'll call her and go, Christy, I was with you all night. Do you remember? And we'll have these extraordinary conversations about the things that her daughter was telling me. So the veil is very thin, and we can get information and inspiration from so many areas when we ask for it, when we're open to it.
Yeah. It is all about asking, right? We have to be open to receiving, or we may even just miss out. In fact, Joe, who had just called, said I'll just quote this. I am haunted by not so great dreams, often stressful situations. Can I change that?
Yeah, request it, Joe. Before you go to sleep, say, those dreams are about my stress and fear, but I also have divine wisdom and loving guides who help me and lift me above it. Please, in my dreams, bring me to the higher realms for wisdom and advice and healing, and not to get stuck in the human area of anxiety and fear that we can all get caught in. Also, Joe, if you're really tired physically, and you're not sleeping well, sometimes your soul doesn't lift all the way to the highest realms. And so you just get caught up in that subconscious recycling of fear and anxiety. And that's when we wake up every hour and look at the clock, So if there's anything you can do before you go to sleep, requesting a visit to the divine for healing, that request will be answered.
Perfect.
I love that understanding that there is an intentionality with life.
Yeah.
That benefits.
Absolutely.
Like, don't be afraid to
to
play
ask.
higher. Ask
Yeah.
higher.
Yeah, we're just not trained, right? Until we
Oh,
know
yeah.
we don't know that that are I call 'em my posse, but that my posse's here to support me.
Right.
And they're like, "Hello, we're waiting for the
I know.
invitation, girlfriend. What is taking you so long?"
And that's the thing, like, they can't step in and interfere without our permission. That's one of the laws of divine order. So if I'm really upset about a problem and all I'm doing is fretting about that problem, I'm not calling in the posse to help me. And, you know, last week I had this big computer meltdown and my email went away, and I can't live without my email because I'm always answering client requests and stuff. And I was in tears. And then I went, oh no, I can't solve this. So I just said, Paul, Chrissy, Dad, Marv, Chief Foolscrow, my posse, do your magic, because this has to be solved from beyond, because I don't have the capacity. And 2 days later, it just kind of all fell back into place. And I don't even know what I did differently. And it was all solved. And you can ask for help with anything, with your car breaking down, with all of that. And you just say, please, guides, get to work on this. I can't fix this and I need you. And everything will unfold beautifully.
Happy little reminders.
Oh, yes, and allow the posse to come in, but it's really big use to ask.
That's right. That's right.
So there's several ways that we can get in touch with you and also pick up one or all of your books. So you have several amazing books out there.
Well, my website is the best way, SueFrederick.com. So if they go there, they'll see how to get to my books and my classes. I always have very reasonably priced classes. And then my private sessions are on there, my calendar. But the books are all on Amazon too. So wherever you live, you can just go to Amazon and type in Sue Frederick and you'll see my books. I've been writing to understand this life for decades. And people always say, gosh, you're such an accomplished writer. That's not how I see it. I see it that I'm trying to figure something out. And the only way I can do that is through writing, because then I can kind of open up to be a channel for that information. And as I write it and it pours through me, it's another book. So, that's how it works. I wish it wasn't that way.
Well, it's such a gift that you offer to all of us. You're not just channeling it, so you have the answers. You're willing to share.
Well, you two are 22-4, so you understand. We know that we have to turn around and share with the world whatever we're learning. It's part of our journey.
Yeah.
Well, she's a
I'm
31.
a 31-4.
Okay.
But we are both fours.
Yes.
Very strong and determined and stubborn like me.
We like our foundation.
That's right.
It is a thing. It has been so much fun having you here. You have brought an energy to our show that has been felt by all of us. So much gratitude for you and the time that you have given to us. Thank you so much, Sue.
Thank you. It's been a blessing. Thank you so much.
It really has. Oh, I feel so warm and fuzzy tonight.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, listeners, that concludes another episode of Soul Wanderings. Thank you for your participation, your time, and the space that you have shared with all of us. It's been a lovely evening, and we look forward to doing it again next week. So follow us on social media so you can see who we're going to hang out with next. Until then, be good to yourself and be good to each other. Good night.
Have a great one.